In the last study of the day, we talked about how intermittent fasting has been shown to reverse diabetes by stimulating the production of beta cells in the pancreas. Today we look at a study that touches on a modality that I feel is one of the single most influential treatments that you can add into your lifestyle. Join me today as we look at how sauna therapy or hyperthermic conditioning can decrease your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's dramatically. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ben and thanks for tuning in to today's study of the day. In this segment, I look at medical literature that is one, interesting, that is two, mainstream media may not cover, and three, lastly and most importantly, has an action that you can incorporate into your daily lives. But before the study, let's break down some myths and let's look at some stats connected to dementia. Myth number one, because someone in my family has dementia, I'll acquire it too. This is totally false. What has been found with dementia is that it is primarily lifestyle based. What does this mean for you? It means that you have way more power and control over the development of this condition than maybe you believe. Myth number two, dementia only affects older people. This is false. Although the majority of people that have dementia or over 65, there are people in their 40s and 50s that are also showing signs of it, again, because it is entirely lifestyle based. So depending on your lifestyle and the stage of life you are, it can start to show its effects. And here are some stats. 56,000 Canadians are living with dementia, being cared for in a hospital. 564,000 Canadians are living with dementia overall. 937,000 are projected to be living with dementia in 15 years, and 1.1 million people are directly or indirectly affected by this symptom. There is a 45% increased risk of developing dementia if you are smoking, and 65% of dementia cases over 65 years old are women. So if you're wondering what the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's is, you're not alone. A lot of patients ask me this, and here is the answer. Dementia describes a group of symptoms affecting memory, thinking, and social abilities severely enough to interfere with daily functioning. Whereas Alzheimer's falls under the umbrella of dementia and accounts for about 60% of its cases. It is a progressive, degenerative disorder that attacks the brain's nerve cells or neurons, resulting in loss of memory, thinking, and language skills. So in short, think of dementia like shortness of breath. It's a description of a symptom, but it's not a diagnosis onto itself. And think of Alzheimer's like asthma. Okay? So you have asthma is one reason why people have shortness of breath, or it's one causative factor, and the same can be true with the Alzheimer's dementia comparison. Alzheimer's is one reason why people can have dementia. Although it's the most common, it's not the same thing. So let's look at this experiment. Researchers in Finland analyzed medical records of 2,315 healthy men ages 42 to 60, tracking their health over an average of about 20 years. And what they were looking for is how frequently these men did hyperthermic conditioning or sauna therapy. In addition, how many cases of dementia and Alzheimer's were diagnosed in this time frame. So they're looking at dementia, Alzheimer's, and frequency of sauna use. So during this median follow-up of 20.7 years, a total of 204 dementia cases and 123 Alzheimer's cases were diagnosed. Okay, so let's look at the results in a little bit more detail. I love this study. It is showing dramatic benefits of the frequency of sauna therapy and the decreased likelihood of dementia and Alzheimer's. Here they are. Let's start with dementia. These are the results. They looked at two groups, the group doing 2 to 3 times per week and the group doing 4 to 7 times per week, and they compared those groups and their rates of dementia and Alzheimer's to the control, which is the group doing sauna therapy at 1 time per week. So what they found in the group doing 2 to 3 sauna sessions per week was that their hazard ratio was 0.76. What this means is that in this group, they're 22% less likely to develop dementia than the group doing 1 time per week. So 2 to 3 times per week, 22% less likely to develop dementia. And then they went and they looked at the group doing 4 to 7 saunas per week, and they found a hazard ratio of 0.34. And what this means is that they were 66% less likely to develop dementia compared to the group of men doing 1 sauna per week. And for Alzheimer's, the numbers and stats are just as impressive. For the group of men doing 2 to 3 saunas per week, the hazard ratio is 0.8, which means there's a 20% reduction in risk for developing that condition. In the 4 to 7 sauna sessions per week group, the hazard ratio was 0.35, which means there was a 65% reduction in Alzheimer's in that group. Again, compared to the control group, which was the men doing saunas 1 time per week. So 2 to 3 times per week, 20% reduction. 4 to 7 times per week, 65% reduction compared to the 1 time per week group. So these are just astronomical numbers. And the question then becomes, would you put into play a lifestyle intervention that decreased your risk of these memory conditions by up to 60%? I think the answer would be yes. So one of the things that this study does not get into is the mechanism of action. How is sauna therapy decreasing the frequency and the risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's? I want to propose 3 potential mechanisms. There's likely more involved, and the reasons will vary depending on the person. But these are the things that are probably happening. 1, we know that sauna therapy is increasing a neurotransmitter called epinephrine. We know epinephrine increases the consolidation of memory. So this is one potential mechanism. Secondly, we know that sauna therapy increases a biochemical called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And this is a biochemical that is responsible for the growth and differentiation of neurons, or brain cells. And then lastly, it's very likely some of these people are benefiting because sauna therapy is decreasing our toxic burden of heavy metals like arsenic, lead, aluminum, mercury. We know that these compounds, these chemicals, can accumulate in the brain and cause nerve death or cell death. So these things combined will all work towards improving our memory function and decreasing the likelihood of these memory conditions. In my 10 years as a naturopathic doctor, you can imagine all the different treatments that I've tried on myself, and dating back, of course, before that. Sauna therapy is on the top of the list when it comes to an efficient intervention. And what this means is that it's provided my body, in my determination, the greatest number of benefits overall. Compared to a diet change, compared to an exercise change, compared to a supplementation, compared to a change in sleep patterns, whatever it is, I've noticed the greatest number of benefits from sauna. My energy, my focus, my concentration, I've noticed improvements with. My mood, I've noticed improvements with. My metabolism, my weight, I found it much easier to regulate my optimal body weight just with this one simple intervention. So when you're considering what to invest time and energy and money in, you want to be choosing the things that are most efficient for you. And of course, we're introducing a combination of things always. We are changing our diet, we are changing the way we move and exercise, and we are changing the way we supplement or medicate. But sauna therapy provides enormous value, enormous bang for your buck. So what action can we take from this study? Sauna therapy is one of my favorite, and I would say the single most important thing that you can do for yourself and for your family's health. So if you can, consider what it would mean to bring a sauna into your home. They're being built so small and compact right now. They're essentially the size of a small IKEA closet. You can put them in the basement, in a corner. You can put them in a bedroom. You can put them in a bathroom. You just need about 4 by 2. They plug into a regular outlet. They're super easy to use, but the cost sometimes can be prohibitive. But here's something that you should keep in mind. A sauna can be purchased for somewhere, a 2-person sauna can be purchased from somewhere around $1,500 for the home. So the question becomes, how do I save that amount of money? And I'm not going to go into, specifics on how you can. We all can look at our lives and determine whether or not that's realistic or not. But here are 3 things to consider. Coffee, $3 a day, is about $1,000. Okay, so there's one potential. Cable TV, $50 a month, $600 a year. Okay, and then the average American, keep in mind, family, spends about $225 a month on eating out of the home, away from the home, that is. So that is upwards of what, $2,400 in a year. So $2,400 you can save from not eating out, about $1,000 from not drinking coffee, about $600 from not watching cable TV for a year. And with those savings, you could invest in the health of you and your family. You could invest in a modality that would dramatically lower your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's, plus all the additional benefits that come with sauna therapy that I will get into in a future video. So my question is, what is decreasing the risk of these memory conditions worth to you? Is it worth the investment of $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 one time? I mean, to me, it is, yes, of course. We want to do everything we can to ensure that we're protecting the aging process of the brain. This is a valuable organ. And when you look at some of the ways that we can save this money, it becomes a no-brainer to me. But of course, this is a value decision, and it's going to be different for different people. So thanks so much for tuning in to the study of the day. As always, I appreciate your time. Any comments, any feedback, any questions, I would love to see it below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, join this health community. We would love to have you. I'll see you guys on the next study of the day.